Hi, how's it going? Hi. This is going to be the fourth time I've tried this because I feel like the gang stalkers are really scared here. They're really scared of what I might say. But I am going to start off with talking about the gang stalking. It's still ongoing. It's not like it's not going on, but the dynamic is very different here compared to um what it was when the Logan family was here. This new family that are here, this new family that lives next door, they've got a nail bar next door to their flat. Well, it's like their flat is above the nail bar. So they don't like have the time to be sitting around like spying. I mean, they do spy, but it's like they do all the things that the last family did, but because they have time constraints, because they have a business to run, like it's not as frequent and it's not as malicious, if that makes sense. um they have said stuff like they have used the big black woman line. I honestly think that comes from the other gang stalkers in Woodingdean, particularly the Logan family, because they still live around here. I do believe that comes from the other gang stalkers around here in Woodingdean, the big black woman thing. And then there's like one particular person from that family who likes to talk about me sleeping in bed all day or me bed rotting. And it's one of those things where the lines that these people are taught to use in street theater are so easy to rebut, like 9 times out of 10, it's not even worth responding to. So the fact that you're talking about me staying in bed all day, like, I'll get into that in a minute, but I could easily turn around to the gang stalkers and say, look, the problem is you. Okay? The problem is you. It's always been you. It's always going to be you. And I'll explain why in a minute. Now, the reason why I brought up what the gang stalkers have been doing is because there's one particular thing that worries me, and it doesn't worry me for the reasons that you might think. It doesn't even worry me for the reasons that I thought. But this morning, when I was waking up, because like I have a thing, there's waking up and then there's waking up for real. So I was waking up, I was like kind of groggy. And when the children walked past my door, they were talking about being scared that I was going to put curses on them. I'm thinking, first of all, I don't put curses on children. And second of all, like, for what? Because I'm struggling to think what these children did that was so bad that would make them think that, unless people at their school that are still attending that school, and the Logan children could easily be still attending that school. Why would they think that unless somebody put that in their head that I was going to curse them? First of all, I know where that big black woman taunt came from. It didn't come from this family. It came from the Logan family. So I believe that either they're still in dialogue or them kids are meeting the Logan kids at school, and the Logan kids are basically giving them their own version of what I'm like as a person. But the big black woman taunt, the like, oh, that she's going to curse us. I'm like, I'm struggling to think what these kids have done to make them that afraid and that scared, unless people are putting ideas in their head about me that are literally doing nothing except scaring the absolute dog shit out of these kids for no reason. Because what these kids do, these kids, if they have any malice or any cruelty in them, which I don't think they have, right? If they have any malice and cruelty in them, it is nowhere on the same level as the last children. That's first of all. Second of all, I don't hex kids. I don't give a fuck how awful they are. I don't hex children. Fuck all that noise. I don't do that shit. All right. So, you know, it's just like, those are the two things. Those are the two main important things. But I want to highlight the first point in particular, because these children here, if they have any malice or cruelty in them, and I don't believe they do, I really don't believe they do, then it's nowhere near on the same level as the last children I had to deal with. Because they're not saying disgusting things for the sake of it. They will copy me. They will imitate me. And truth be told, sometimes the adults will be like encouraging them to do it because gang stalking. But it's like they impersonate something that I do, and then they turn it into a stimming type of situation, which is a normal thing that kids do. Kids learn through repetition. So apart from like mimicking me, which is what adult gang stalkers do anyway, what did these kids actually do? They didn't fucking do anything. So they're basically having the shit scared out of them for no reason. It's not necessary. First of all, I'm going to move out soon. Second of all, these kids really, of all the kids in the, like, and these poor kids, right, they're hearing all types of shit from people who do not have to live next door to me. So they're bringing all that fear and all that, you know, not hatred. I don't think hatred is something that these kids are like, but they're bringing all that fear home, right? Probably feeling like they're not going to be able to sleep because I'm down here. So it happens every single time. It's always the people who don't live here that want to open up their mouth about me, right? And they escape with no consequence because they don't have to come back here again. It's the people that they try to play the hero in front of, the people that do live here, that either have to suffer the consequences or have to live with the fear that's been put into them. And that's these poor kids. They have to live with the fear that some other racist BS kid put into them. They have to live with that because they go to school with these idiots. So they have to live with that. They have to come home with that fear in them because somebody else put it into them. It's always people who don't live here. It's always flying monkeys. It's always fucking gang stalkers that don't live here that make things 1,000 times worse for the perps and gang stalkers that do. And that includes kids. I'm upset because it's not even that people are spreading false rumors about me. That happens all the time. It's not even that people are trying to commit hate crimes with my spiritual practices. That bothers me. That also happens all the time. But if you're going to scare children for no fucking reason, that is where I have a problem. Like, don't fucking scare these kids and make them think that I'm going to put curses on them. They haven't done anything. They've just been stimming. And that's it. And any fucking imitation they've been doing of me, all they've been doing is imitations that, like, they haven't said anything malicious or disgusting. They haven't been like they haven't carried on like that. So the fact that these children are having their life terrified out of them, that actually upsets me. Like, that actually really fucking upsets me for real. And the fact that I'm upset over gang stalker children is just wild as hell. But like, I don't like that. These kids can think what they want about me. But what I hate is that they're being scared to death for no reason. I don't like that. I don't like that. You want to commit hate crimes against me? Fine. We can all see how well that worked out. But scaring kids to death for no reason is crazy to me. Putting false ideas in their head just so that you can step in and try to look like the hero, that is crazy to me. I don't fuck with that. That's ridiculous. Right? So, and that's what gang stalkers who are kind of like close to the gang stalkers that live here but don't live here, that's what they do. They back up the perps that live here and the gang stalkers that live here. They're all fucking mouth, like to play the hero. They don't even care what the story is. They just need an opportunity to play a hero in front of somebody that they like. So that's what ends up putting the people who live here in a precarious situation. And these people think they're getting revenge on me, but all they're doing for real is scaring the shit out of people who did nothing to them. That's all they're doing. All they're doing is hurting people that didn't do a goddamn thing to them. Because what did these kids do to these people that are putting the fear of God into them? Nothing. That's what upsets me. It's just, oh, God. That's what upsets me more than anything. Why are they being scared to death for nothing? All they're doing is impersonating me. And again, like, I'm sorry, but children do that. When they think that there's somebody that they're afraid of, they're going to make fun of that person so that they don't feel scared anymore. Like, if there's something that, you know, unusual that scares or upsets them, they're going to make fun of that thing so that they can feel better. That's what they do. That's what kids do. It's like a normal thing. So, oh, Lord. I guess it doesn't help that the parents are encouraging it because of gang stalking. I guess it doesn't help, but no, I don't like that. I don't like that. But yeah. So there's another thing that I wanted to talk about, which was what the adults have been saying. So the adults have been calling me a liar over and over. I mean, I guess we'll let that one play out. Do you know what I mean? We'll let that one play out. So the adults have been like calling me a liar. It's mostly the men in the family that have been saying the word liar over and over. We'll just let that play out. You know what I mean? I've been called a liar before, and the people accusing me ended up looking pretty fucking stupid. So we can just go ahead and like just let that play out. That's the first thing. Second thing is that that person talking about me sleeping in all day, I think, again, at the behest of the perps. There are so many things that I could say, and it can be completely devastating and damaging. First of all, the reason why I'm bed rotting and staying in all day is because all my life I've had to deal with abuse, not just because I'm black, not just because I'm a woman, not just because I'm queer, not just because I'm neurodivergent, but because I have been a victim of intergenerational gang stalking. Intergenerational gang stalking. That means my whole bloodline's been tainted with the shit. Right? And on top of that, I'm a family scapegoat, so that's fun. But gang stalking, having my neurodivergence leaned on to create falsified mental health diagnoses, being abused emotionally and repeatedly to make me behave a certain way so that people can slander me or weaponize that against me so that I don't get help. All of these things have affected my education, my college studies, my university studies, my job prospects, my relationships. All I've ever wanted ever since I was young was to lead a normal life, and that normal life included getting up every day and going to work. It's something that I wanted. I just don't want to work for free, right? I've always wanted to work. I've always wanted to feel a part of like normal society. I've always wanted to do that. It's something that I literally fantasize about all the time, going to fucking work. But guess what? Gang stalking has financial abuse. Gang stalking has emotional abuse. Like every single opportunity they can find to take away something positive for you, they will find to take it. And then once they do that, once they blacklist you everywhere, and you don't see any point in applying for jobs that you've been blacklisted from, or you don't see any point in going back to organizations that have gang stalkers in it, suddenly you're in bed all day and you're lazy. I would love to go to work. I would also love to go out more than once a fucking month. But can you remember what happened last month when I went out? My stuff was contaminated allegedly. And I didn't even figure that one out until a week later when I went to a specific event. And you had somebody at that specific event brag about contaminating my things and me not being able to tell the difference. Do you remember that shit? That's what happened the last time I went out. Last time I went out, I came back. Stuff was contaminated without me really knowing for sure. Next week, when I go to an event, and you know that's an event that makes me happy, you try to contaminate that too with the street theater bragging about what you did the previous week or the previous day. I think it was the previous day, actually. Yeah, it was the previous day. No, it was previous day, not the previous week, because Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it was a previous day, not the previous week. I'm getting my weeks and days mixed up. But yeah, yeah, you came into my place, allegedly contaminated my belongings, contaminated some moon water of mine, and then bragged about it through a fucking street theater mouthpiece. That's the last thing that you did when I fucking went out and enjoyed myself. That's what you did. That's what you did. You contaminated something of mine, bragged about it. That's what you did the last time I went out, and I went out to the fucking beach. I didn't even go out for more than a few hours. So you bring up all this stuff, right? So somebody upstairs was hacking and coughing to try and taunt me. It's okay. I've got some other stuff to bring up. So that is what happened the last time that I went out somewhere. That's what happened the last time. Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say gang stalkers engineer certain things in your life, create problems in your life deliberately to have to move through. And then when you predictably don't move through them, they make out like you're the one with the problem. That's a typical abuser tactic. They make out like you're the one with the problem. That's a typical abuser tactic. And you heard, like, I don't know if you heard that hacking going on right now. Yeah, that's a typical perp thing. They've been bragging about that. They've been bragging about that through street theater, through certain words being used. They've been bragging about that. They've been continuously bragging about that. And yet you want to turn around and tell me that I'm staying in bed all day. What am I staying in bed all day for if you haven't done shit? And let's get into that, by the way. Because I'm supposed to be moving out of here like in a few weeks. And if all goes well, I'm going to be moving into one of the most TI populated places in the country. And it's in London. So you're talking about me moving to London, me moving back to London, in one of the most TI populated places in the country. And because of what I know about the type of paedophiles that Dorset police have been protecting, you know Dorset police are going to show up, crank the weaponized frequencies all the way up to 1,000. And on top of that, you want to have me living in shared accommodation again. Or like, tell a lie, a studio flat with shared amenities. Because we all know how well that went last time, right? And then on top of that, the icing and the cherry on top of the shit sundae is that all of this is being done to protect pedophiles. You know how I know that? Because the last time these frequencies were cranked all the way up to 1,000, I was supposed to be helping a friend of mine, Pauline Chung, with a mental health appointment. A mental health appointment that was supposed to get her off the injections that she's been on for a few years now, at least a few years. And she was put on those injections, not only because they're a rich family gang stalking her own family, but because she has been exposing people raping her kids. And they're not the only ones. Dorset police ain't the only one with some skeletons. Let me not. The place that they want to move me to, those police have got some skeletons in their closet too. Got some high-ranking Freemasons over there that have done some very, very terrible things. Not just rape, not just organ trafficking, fucking murder on top of that. So everything that, you know, all the hawking, the taunting, the contamination, not only are you attempting to poison somebody who has not abused kids, somebody who has not, you know, trafficked anybody, not only are you doing this to me, you're doing this on behalf of people who have. You're protecting literal child killers. On top of child rapists, you're literally protecting child killers on top of that. Allegedly. Ask me how I know that. Why do you think that everybody like handling my case right now with regards to my move are on their best behavior? Why do you think that is? After everything that I've done, after everything that I've revealed on my social media, why do you think that my enemies are the ones on their best behavior? Because they fucking know what's going on. Imagine thinking your children or any children of yours are worth protecting pedophiles and child killers for. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. I don't know if I agree with this. I don't agree with this necessarily. But there was a parent. Actually, no, I think I do agree with this. Because I'm not a parent, you see. So I don't know. But parents are the easiest people to use for gang stalking for a reason. And this parent basically said, when you become a parent, it becomes about your children and not anybody else's children. Now, there are people who disagree with that parent and said, oh, I'm a parent and I still volunteer. Okay, but if your child had done something wrong, or, it came to a choice between, choosing to persecute one group of children or protecting your own children, like who would you pick? Do you understand what I mean? Most of the parents I know, they're going to pick their own kids, to protect their own kids, to side with their own kids. What the fuck do they care about the deviants, the child rapists and the child murderers they're protecting? What the fuck do they care about that? What the fuck do any of these people involved in my gang stalking care about the children that are being trafficked and murdered? As long as they get an easy job of gang stalking me, what do they care? And like I said, people have been calling me a liar, this, that, and the third. Again, we'll just let it play out. Now, with regards to the Epstein files, where the Epstein files are concerned, when it comes to Jacqueline Pierce, we still don't know, like, if Jacqueline Pierce is... I'm going to be really honest, right? I know the gang stalking is real because I've experienced it. I know the trafficking is real because I've heard accounts from other targeted individuals. I know that the child rape and child murder are real. Again, ask me how I know. Right? I know all that is real. Okay? But when it comes to Jacqueline Pierce, we still don't know where she is, which Jacqueline Pierce made these claims, because I'm trying to find her documents, I'm trying to find her books and stuff like that, and I'll keep looking, but I can't find them anywhere. I can't find her books, right? So we still don't know who she is or where she is, if she's even still alive. We don't know. She might be dead. We don't know. We don't know where she is. She hasn't spoken up ever since them files came out. So she could be dead. She could be missing. Could be trafficked under another name. Might not even exist. So we don't know what... I mean, we know that some of the public figures that she named in Australia were real. But we don't know if she's real. And if she is real, where is she? At the same time, I know that what is described in the Epstein files is real, because again, I've heard testimony from other TIs. And before people try to insult my intelligence, I know damn well they're not lying. There are at least 2 people who have died because of gang stalking. There's at least 1 person that I know that has cancer because of gang stalking. There are people that have died of blood clots because of gang stalking, organ failure because of gang stalking. So no, you're not about to turn around to me and say none of this is real. Everything that you're doing to me, including making sure that my home is unsafe every time I go out and bragging about it, causing me so much depression that I bed rot instead of going out and traveling like I want to. All that comes back to you. It all comes back to you and who you're protecting. Again, why do you think that everybody around here, like, in spite of everything that I've done, in spite of everything that people know, why do you think people are on their best behavior around me? Because they fucking know. You know what I mean? So have fun with that. Have fun with that. The place that I'm about to be moved to, one of the heaviest population, if not the heaviest population of TIs in the country. And then on top of that, oh yeah, that's where Reform is, isn't it? Yeah, that makes sense. So among the heaviest population of TIs in the country, that's first off. Second off, it's London. So you know there's lots of electronic shit contributing to radiation. Third of all, Dorset police are going to show up. The police of that particular town that you want to move me to are going to show up and bring their weaponized frequencies with them. How well do you think that's going to turn out? Especially with a fucking house share or a glorified house share. And anything that I end up doing in that situation, once again, just like this situation, they're going to be your secrets. And I'm talking to the gangstalkers now. They're going to be your secrets to cover up, not mine. Everything that I've done, dirty laundry that I've already aired, those are your secrets, not mine. Because as much as I have to take some responsibility for my own actions, what you facilitated, what you have done and who you've done it for, my behavior are your secrets. They are not my secrets. So me staying in bed all day and performing some little rituals are the least of your problems. And not just gangstalkers, sorry. My fellow TIs, this is why when you bring up the little things that gangstalkers have done, they always focus on the petty stuff. They always focus on petty details. They're not going to focus on anything bigger because they have too much to hide there. Yeah. They're way too much to fucking hide. Way too much to hide. They're way too much to fucking hide there. And you can't hide forever. You can't hide that stuff forever. Because the thing is, gangstalkers, you've already murdered people. And you should know better than anyone that the dead don't keep their secrets very well. So, I gotta go. Hang on. Do I have to go? I think I do. I don't think I have to go yet. Oh, I can't remember what I had to say. Yeah. But yeah. Like some contaminated stuff. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's pretty petty in comparison to what you've done and who you've done it for, isn't it? But again, even that, you did that for child murderers. You did that for child rapists, to protect them, to cover your own ass. Staying in bed all day, me staying in bed all day are the culminated results of you meddling in my fucking life, creating a scapegoat out of me on behalf of child rapists and child murderers. This is why, my fellow TIs, even though shame is the closest thing to death, you can't let these people shame you. You cannot let these people shame you. These people, Absolutely not. And I think now I gotta go. I've got readings to do anyway, so I can't hang around here. So we will talk soon, my fellow TIs. Yeah, and just remember, these gang stalkers will always try to point out petty things and try to re-traumatize you with petty things because they know who they're protecting and they know what they're doing. But my fellow TIs, stay strong, stay blessed. And to my gang stalkers who who used perps to try to call me arrogant, best of luck. Best of luck. You never learn. You really don't learn. Best of luck though. Let's see what happens. Take care. Bye bye, my darlings.